After a long time of waiting, we got our first look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Of course, the newest version. The direct sequel to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that came out a year or so ago. Captain Price and Task Force 141 face off against the ultimate threat, the ultra-nationalistic war criminal Vladimir Makarov. And at Gamescom, we got one of the most cinematic trailers that I've ever seen. This is the campaign premiere, and it seems that, judging by most of the comments, what everybody is looking forward to. You see, in the last few Call of Duty games, the multiplayer has been slacking off a bit, and whilst in games like Modern Warfare 2, the original back in the day, that seemed to be a massive staple of the title, it seems that whether it's because the multiplayer is getting worse, or just the campaigns are getting vastly better, people are definitely more orientated towards the single-player style of Spec Ops Call of Duty titles, and they have definitely lent into this with this reveal. This is a stealth mission, based in the water, scuba gear. We've not really had too much like this in the past, and I'm very excited to see where they take it, adding a little bit more variation to their stealth titles.
Hooks up. Good hook. Let's get up top.
Of course, different paths through missions are coming back, deciding which ways you want to take them, stealth, going loud, using different gadgets and loadouts in order to accomplish tasks in certain ways. The graphics look absolutely gorgeous, and it seems that atmosphere is going to be more than their priority in this title. Heading up onto the walls, we take out our first enemy, and the NVGs are acquired.
Clear. Moving to Mark DZ. Stand by.
Nods on. Airstribs on. Hold.
Drop him.
DZ clear.
3-1, killer lead. Alpha to Bravo 1, marking with IR, confirm visuals.
Visual, Bravo inbound.
As the rest of our task force come in on parachutes, it is time to head down to start taking out the enemies in the depths and the bowels of this base. First, we need to do a little bit of marking up from the outside, get enough intel, but as we start to head in, it's where the bodies start to fall. Now, stealth is out the window. Going loud seems to be the option that we've taken in this route. The map design looks very well done, with using the lighting to take certain bits of cover and getting behind enemies, and it seems that AI has been a massive improvement point in the Call of Duty franchise recently. It still leaves a lot to be desired, but since they have things like stealth getting nailed down and really pushed, AI is going to be incredibly important to make this an actual immersive game. You see, the campaigns of Call of Duty are different to most other titles, very much the closest thing that we have to movies in the video games. And while some people don't like how scripted they are, especially in the most recent Modern Warfare games, it seems that Call of Duty themselves have decided to give the players a little bit more freedom to do what they want and to complete missions in certain ways. I just wish they pushed it a little bit more, because it is their biggest weakness, holding hands through certain cutscenes and missions, and you're almost watching a game be played a lot of the time.
Bravo's got the keys. Alpha, you have one mic until the lights are back online.
And unfortunately, we do see a little bit of that. Heading through the tunnels, it is time to take out some guys in pitch black darkness. And unfortunately, we don't get to do any of it. We just have to wait until the rest of our lads do it for us.
Kick off the riot.
Almost watching the mission play out as we are a spectator, shooting our gun every now and then. And that would be a criticism that I personally have. Of someone that isn't massively in depth with the Call of Duty franchise, that is one of the main reasons. The reason that I am drawn to FPS games is to be able to have that freedom to make these decisions yourselves. This reminds me a lot of the Clean House mission from the first Modern Warfare remake in 2019. It was about infiltrating a building with certain choices, whether you shoot, knife, subdue, or just move on from certain places, and it was about making these decisions within the game itself. It was incredibly immersive, shooting out lights if you wanted to, putting on night vision goggles to try and get an advantage over the enemy. They would then start shooting around in the darkness, not knowing where you are, but that could only be done because of the choices you made to take out the lights in the first place. And whilst that is a nice addition, it is still very bare bones and basic when it comes to real in-game decisions that affect the outcome. But maybe that's just the way that Call of Duty is going, and maybe the cinematic thing has worked for them for so long that we'll probably never stray too far from them. It seems pretty positively received by the fan base. The campaign seems to be the massive draw here, and the multiplayer, well, people are mostly saying they don't really care about it. They're not really interested and would actually prefer just an entirely single-player title at this point, which I think would do a lot for Call of Duty, because that is where their strengths really lie.
Reach her up.